Hello, Facebook. We are once again back. I think this is going to be fun now. Wherever you are joining me, imagine someone is trying to hack whilst I'm online and they deleted my Facebook. Facebook just sent me a message now that someone was trying to log into your account, and that's why they stopped the live on my behalf. So I think it's sorted, and we are back. So today we're just looking at questions in videography. Let me know where you're watching me from. Let me read some of your comments here. It's going to be an awesome. Oh my God, what is this now? It's going to be an awesome live today. We are trying to be played. Yep. We are going to sort it out, guys. Don't worry. We are going to sort it out. You know, some of us, we grew up in this technology thing. A lot of people, especially after that robbery thing, people really tried to hack my accounts and stuff. It was, and I get to ask myself questions, but why are these people doing this to me, man? Like, what have I done wrong to anybody? You know, why is everybody trying to steal from me? You know, so it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know what they are really looking for. I'm not a billionaire. I'm broke. I'm broke just like anyone else. So I don't really know what they are looking for, but they are not resting, guys. They are not resting. I don't know if you steal my page, it's just 20K followers. It's not even really like a lot of followers. But I think with the things that I do, it's not really an issue of followers because I'm not even building my pages in terms of followers. I think it is in terms of value because I provide value. Even if I have 2 followers, 3 followers, there's always a lot of value on my pages. So maybe that's why they are always trying to hack my accounts and stuff. But I don't understand. I really don't understand. I'm a very cool guy. If you meet me in person, I'm a very cool guy. You know, I understand people easily. I don't go into fights with people, you know. Even people store my equipment. I had all the power to follow up on those people and even probably get them arrested. But I always make sure to stay out of trouble at all costs because I was thinking, for me to go after my equipment, it might take me 20 days, 30 days. Instead of me to waste all the resources, you are chasing someone who has got guns, who wanted to kill you, and you are chasing them. It's not worth it. It's better I just focus on other things. I always try to stay out of trouble and to stay out, to be in good books with everybody. But people are not resting. Just imagine I'm coming live and someone is hacking into my account. There is nothing that you're gonna find here apart from videography. I think at this age, I'm wise enough to put sensitive information on social media. So anything that is related to social media right now, it is just nothing but videography. So I don't know if you are going to hack my account, I don't know where you wanna take it to. Are you a videographer or are you just trying to stalk because I'm adding value? I think that's witchcraft. That's why it's witchcraft. All right, let's get back to business now. Let's get back to business. So, yeah, I'll be answering a lot of questions today. Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok, wherever you are watching me. Let's get the questions coming. And let's share the live to make sure that everybody else is connected. Let's see how many people are watching on YouTube and potentially see if we have questions there. Let's keep the questions coming. Joined. Let's go. If you have any questions, Facebook, TikTok, any questions relating to videography, just drop them in the comment section there. We are tackling those today. That's what we'll be doing today. Let's keep the questions coming. Let's try Facebook if we have people that are joining in. think today's live is the most attacked live. Oh my God. Oh my God. Let me know where you're watching me from. Everything has been logged out. Use my phone. Everything has been logged out. Why? No, I'm still live. Which softwares can I use to produce high quality pictures? Softwares don't produce high quality pictures. Pictures start, if you want to create really high quality pictures, you have to work with your camera works first. You have to deal with the camera works, right? So it's not a software. A software will just really help you to retouch here and there, but creating amazing, good pictures, it has to start with your cameras. Lighting, you know, the lens you are using, and stuff like that, your composition, that's what makes a good picture. So there isn't really like a good software for creating good pictures. There is a good videographer, a good photographer behind the camera who creates a nice picture. Hi, I'm from Falombe, Malawi. Thank you so much, Mr. Moses, for joining. That was a question from Thomas, watching from Zimbabwe, Madiwa Township. Thank you for joining us. Was there a time in your career when you doubted your abilities as a director? If so, how did you overcome that period, and what did you learn from it? This is Felicity. Felicity, tell me where you're watching me, Felicity. You know, a doubt in videography as a director, it is always there. Even today, it is always still there. You know, you take a picture, you take a video, and you sort of begin to doubt whether you are doing the correct thing. You know, the only time when a director rests is after the video is done and people hopefully they like it. But starting off, yes, there were so many doubts. In fact, I did not really actually start. I did not really even want to do a videography. I just joined the videography because I wanted to raise money for my college. So after finishing my grade 12, I was trying to see what I can do, you know, to help my dad raise money for me. Or at least if my dad does 50%, 70% of the rest of my schooling, paying school fees and stuff, I didn't really want to, you know, like give him trouble because he had a lot of other children, you know. We were 4 people who were already going to college. So all of us were trying to do something here and there to raise money. And at that particular time, I just thought videography is the one that seems like people are not really doing, because we are talking about 2008, 2009, when this was happening. So it was more like, since there isn't so many people doing videography in my area, I think let me major in videography, because before I became a videographer, I was actually a producer. I used to create beats, and you know, musicians would come, and everybody that time who had a computer was a producer creating beats and recording music. So I wanted something different, and then I found out that maybe let me try videography, since there isn't really anybody who is doing videography like modern style. You know, I'm actually the first person in my province to create like a music video from that province that actually aired on TV and stuff like that. So because of that, there wasn't really any person like myself to you who is always there to teach. And I don't know, for some reason, people who are in the industry, sometimes they actually act as if they are always stingy with information. So I was really trying to look for somebody who can teach me and stuff like that, but it was not working. So at many times I doubted myself, thinking, is this even gonna work or not? But my breakthrough came after I created a few videos. I saw people went crazy in my town, you know. I was actually very famous. I believe I'm still famous in my town. At that point when I started back in 2010, 2011, I was famous to a point whereby if I could move in a street like this, people would be like, oh, that is San Pedro, oh, the guy who creates videos and stuff, you know. People would give me some, you know, some gifts. If I pass through town, like the market, whatever they have, whether it's pumpkin, whether it's sweet potato as gifts, oh, this is San Pedro, he's creating videos. So uh, that is what actually gave me courage to say, I just did a little, and this is not even what I wanted to do, but people actually like it. So if I can double down on this, I'm sure this thing can work. So I started really like working hard with the craft, like trying to really source out equipment, because at that time, in the area where I was, there wasn't really even people who had a DSLR camera was not there. It was just those camcorders, hand cams, and it was really tough where I started videography. It was really tough. So I really tried to source. So when they would come to that province, you know, they knew that there's a guy who is very artistic. He's very fast in editing. He's very artistic. The way he approaches editing is very good. So they would come and give me some projects to edit for them in exchange that if I have a project in that particular time when they are not shooting, I would borrow their camera and go and film my own stuff. And I remember my favorite camera being the PD170, a Sony PD170. Those are the cameras that they were using at that particular time. You can see the stream is dropping again. So to answer your question, even today, I'm still not really like satisfied. In fact, I've been investing a lot, and this year was like the year that I'm really gonna take my career to the next level. All the small projects that I've been doing, I've been saving to buy equipment and stuff. So at least last year, I bought quite a few equipment, which sadly were stolen, and now I have to start from the beginning because I don't want to work on really like serious personal projects. There's serious movies that I want to work on. There's serious projects, documentaries that I want to do around Africa. Things that it has not really yet been explored. You know, I've traveled across different African countries. I think the whole Africa, I've been in each and every country. That's why I think I'm being followed by so many people from different countries, because I've been in each and every country in Africa and I've learned quite a lot. I wanted to buy equipment so that I can create certain content, you know, probably partner with other people, because at this point I'm just really like a solo videographer who works with bigger companies and stuff, you see. So yeah, doubt is always gonna be there. The pressure for perfection is always there. And you just see where you are going and what you want to achieve, and you work towards that. All right, let's go through your questions. We are here, sir. Mr. John Kakandelo is watching. Mr. John, can't wait to be with you in March. We have a very big project to shoot. Mr. Blessing Chiewa, I'm in, sir, but the volume is low. Let me know, guys, if the volume is low. Sometimes, if you are using, my output now is on stereo. So some people on my first live actually complained that the volume was low. The volume was okay. It's only that sometimes if you don't have a stereo phone, you have a monophone with one speaker, and maybe the speaker that is playing, it's not the channel that is showing on your phone, you might have low problem. So I can see people, they are saying volume is low. So let me try to increase the volume. Let me try to increase the gain. Just hold a minute. Today is something else. Today is something else. I think let's do this live tomorrow. I think let's do this live tomorrow. I don't know whether it's about to rain or what is going on, but it's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know if we are still in good shape. I'm really forcing this live, you know, I'm really forcing it. I don't know if we are still in good shape. I don't know if volume is improved. All right. Moses Kalinde says, hi, I'm from Palabo, Malawi. Okay. What's the suitable software for editing music videos? For me, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. And for some, they use DaVinci Resolve. Others, they use Filmora. There isn't really anything special about a particular software because each and every software is made to carry out certain tasks. It's made with certain plugins, it's made with certain presets. And if you look at the software, let's say we put Final Cut Pro, Adobe Premiere Pro, and we put DaVinci here, you see that video editing is the same across all of them, but they have got different specific plugins and presets and workflows. So whichever workflow works for you better, I think that makes that software good for you. So the software that is good for me might not be necessarily good for you because of the other stuff that I look for when I'm editing or whatever, whenever I'm doing certain things. Right. So there isn't really any better software. For me, I use Adobe Premiere Pro. It has got everything that I need in a software. And I was using DaVinci Resolve. By the way, DaVinci Resolve, I'm adding it to my courses. I'm adding After Effects and DaVinci Resolve. Then I have another course, phone videography, smartphone videography. Then we have online classes, videography and stuff. So I'm actually gonna release 5 courses anytime soon. So the only reason why I like Adobe Premiere Pro is I'm also a motion graphics guy. I really do visual effects, and After Effects really helps me a lot doing that. So sometimes I can be editing a video in Adobe Premiere Pro, and if there is any visual effects that I want to do on that video, then I'll just jump right into After Effects without closing it. Whatever that will be working in After Effects will be updated in Adobe Premiere Pro. I can connect Adobe Suite like Adobe Photoshop, Adobe After Effects, Adobe Audition, and Adobe Premiere Pro. I can work with all these programs at once without really like closing this project and opening complete different software. So that is what works for me. So for you, maybe you don't like the way Adobe Premiere Pro workflow is. Maybe you don't like the plugins that are there. Maybe you like the way DaVinci Resolve looks and does its stuff. Maybe that could be your perfect software. Otherwise, there is nothing wrong with DaVinci. There is nothing wrong with Premiere Pro. There is nothing wrong with Filmora. There's nothing wrong with Sony Vegas. It's only that if it has all the stuff that you need to create your video, then it is the best. Mr. Waden says, wow, your story of losing your gear was sad. It's really sad indeed. It's really sad. And inspiring, meaning never giving up. Thank you so much, Waden from Cape Town, SA. And Oglarius says, what is the secret behind color correction or color grading? Is there any plugin or software to ease the way working, living alone Premiere Pro? I think most people actually rely on software. Just because a software can do certain things, it doesn't necessarily mean that it is gonna get your job to where it wants to be. Things like color correction and color grading, it doesn't really happen in the software, you know? Before you go and shoot, we have what we call color palette. Any video that I shoot, there's a certain color palette that I'm following. There's a way that colors that I want to appear in that video. That's why you see a director on set would stop, remove, oh, that yellow biscuit bag that is looking there, let's remove it because it's not part of the color palette. So when you start with the look, before you go and film your video, you first of all try to understand what kind of video you are trying to create and how you would want it to look after it's done, before you even shoot it. So when you go and shoot, things like your camera settings plays a crucial role in the secret of color grading. I don't even really like color grade my videos, like spend a lot of time that I'm a colorist, I have to color this video. No, most of the stuff I do them on set already. How I balance my lighting, how I make my talents costumes where the location that I am has to complement to the look that I want. Using the software is just really like to reach the final part of how I was envisioning the video all along. So the secret to color grading and color correction is not to rely on the software. It is to do the correct settings, to work on your color palette, to work with colors on set properly, to set your cameras properly. When you bring your videos, the moment you just change it from whatever log that you are shooting, maybe you are shooting from in Red Code RAW, or you are shooting in Blackmagic RAW, or you are shooting in a flat style, or maybe S-Log or C-Log or N-Log. The moment you just add Rec 7 or Rec 709, your video should already start to look good because you shot it properly. You know, color grading will not be easy. To just adjusting the saturation, balancing out the colors, which you can do with any software like Adobe Premiere Pro. And people always, no, I think Adobe DaVinci is the best when it comes to color grading. Whether it is the best or not, if your video is poorly shot, even DaVinci will not help you. DaVinci will close the eyes and like, I am not involved. So make sure when you are filming, that is where you are supposed to start from. Okay, I'm having questions here. We are in good shape now. Thank you so much, Mrs. Cornell Grace. Yeah, it's improved. That's great. I work the same strategy you do. That's great. Let's have questions coming. I'm looking at TikTok now. I'm trying to see if there's questions that are coming, and I'm not seeing any. Let me look at YouTube if we have any questions here. I love the way you are not stingy with information. That's Mr. Dominic. Thank you so much. I can see Mr. Ivan Films. I'm Ivan watching from Uganda. Thank you so much. And which budget light for live shooting? I think the budget, I have a video that I created doing a sort of like a studio tour where I was exploring everything that I'm using inside my studio and the prices. So there's some lights here that I described that maybe you can look at that video. It's one of the latest video that I created, a studio tour. So you see prices there and stuff like that. What makes Adobe Premiere Pro to slow down while using Adobe Premiere Pro? Adobe Premiere Pro works with the processor of the computer. All right, most of its hardware requirement doesn't really depend on whether you have a good graphics card. You need to have a stronger processor and good memory. So after using it for some time, maybe you were editing something there and then you open another program. It means now your computer is sharing memory with other program that is open, and that can slow down the computer. So make sure you have really like good memory. Make sure you have solid state drives that are running your operating system, not traditional hard drives that are using a disk to spin, because those, they delay to access information. And make sure your processor is good, it's big. At least if you are an editor, the processor that I recommend, at least 2.4 gigahertz with at least 8 threads and 4 cores, or with at least 8 cores with 12 threads. You know, I think that would be able to push. Otherwise, if your processor is very small, you're not really gonna get you're not gonna get messy from Premiere Pro. So your computer specs, And if you go to my class, Video Editing Pro, I described what kind of entry-level computer that you can get and described a lot about computers and stuff. By the way, there's a video that I'm dropping, I think tomorrow or the other day, which goes into how to format a computer. I'm going to be formatting a computer from the beginning, from downloading the operating system to putting it in the flash, booting your computer, flashing everything, then installing system drivers, installing softwares that I use, installing plugins that I use step by step. It's quite a long video, it's about 25 minutes. It's already done. So I'm trying to post a video every single day until year end, because I have a lot of videos already. I have a lot. So if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, what are you waiting for, guys? What are you waiting for? You can learn one or two things there, you know. All right, which website can I use to download plugins? I think it really depends what kind of plugins you want. But some of these things, when I speak about them, like there's a tutorial that I did on YouTube about how to use vMix for free forever. Guess what? vMix wrote me an email that it was illegal for me to share such secrets with the public audience because they are in business. And then they asked YouTube to remove the video and it was deleted. So some of these secrets, I can only really like talk about them on my private website, which is not public, right? But if I say where to download free stuff now, where you can get free maybe YouTube might delete this video again because people have got a way of reporting it. You have no idea, like big corporations reporting my videos with a small channel of 21K subscribers. That is just how much value I give to filmmakers, because I'm not really stingy. The problem is the platforms to use, because these platforms we are using, they are censored. If you say certain things, they will delete your video. So, but then I'm just gonna risk, if they delete it, they delete it. So there's a lot of platforms from which you can download free plugins, and it depends exactly what kind of computer you are using. If you are using an iMac or an Apple computer, or you're using Windows, let me know. But if you're using Windows, I always download my plugins from, I get it into PC. You can download literally any software from that site, any plugin from that site. The light, Mr. Hendrik Mokwena is saying the right lenses for wedding videography. So when I used to shoot wedding videography, wedding videos, there's only like 3 lenses that I used a lot. I was using, there are only 3 types of shots that I like to take during weddings, right? There's wide shots that actually show like the whole space, especially on the intros. If they have a nice decoration, it's good that you have a wide lens. So mostly I always almost used the 12mm f2.8 from Rokinon. And then I have, what is this lens? I've stopped using some of these photography lenses. A Tokina 11-16, so that was my go-to wide lens. Tokina 11-16 f2.8, and then 24-70 Sigma. I was using a Sigma 24-70 because at 24 it's almost like still almost wide, because I was using a GH5 most of the time. So a GH5 11-16 is it's 22-32 millimeter, because it times the crop factor. It has got a crop factor of ×2. So my wide shots were always starting at 22 millimeter. For me, 22 millimeter is still really wide, because I don't really like very wide shots. They distort the image. So if I put that Tokina 11-16 on my GH5, it was like 22-32 millimeter lens. That is the one that I was using for like a little bit of wide and medium close-ups. And then I was using a 24-70 millimeter, which was for more like medium shots and portrait shots. And I rarely used a a 70 to 200 millimeter because my camera is a crop factor. So that 24 to 70 millimeter was more than enough for me to do portrait. So there's only 3 shots that I take when I'm doing wedding videos: wide shots, medium shots, and telephoto, especially during the kissing and during the preaching. You don't really want to be very closer to the couple. You need at least a lens that can keep you very far yet very close to the subject. All right, by the way, you need to know the crop factors of your lenses. You have to know if you're using an APS-C sensor, if you put a 24 millimeter there, it's going to come maybe 34 millimeter. It's not going to really be like 24 millimeter. So if you're using a GH5, it has got a crop factor of ×2. So if you put a 20 millimeter, it becomes a 40 millimeter. And that goes with the f-stop of the lens. If you're using a micro four third camera, make sure you get lenses that have got lower f-stop number like f1.2, f1.8, f2.8. That is the lowest lens that I can use. So if the lens is 3.5, f3.5, I'll not really even consider it because those cameras struggle in low light. And what else? I think that's all. Mr. Black and White Television says, I did a great job with your tutorial. Thank you so much. How is the workflow between After Effects and Photoshop? So a lot, when I used to create websites, I used to do all the designs in Photoshop. I'll design the whole website in Photoshop. And then if I want to do a sort of like a website promo, it means I need to animate some of those items that are on Photoshop. I'll get the whole website the way I created it and save it and then import it in After Effects and do the animations there. So it's a cool website. It's a cool animation for the website. I don't want to change anything or go and download anything, but I'll just animate certain things on the program itself. So you can actually import a project of Photoshop into Adobe After Effects. There are also certain posters that I usually do, like it's a poster, I'll create the whole poster, and maybe the owner wants an animation of that event, whatsoever event is all about for that poster. I'll just import the same project from Photoshop straight into After Effects. There's so many. You can actually do color grading in Photoshop, save it as a preset, and import it in Adobe Premiere Pro. That's why I like Adobe. That's why I always use Adobe. I was always using DaVinci Resolve back in 2015 when it was just still like a color grading software. But that was because I bought a Blackmagic 4K camera at that particular time, and they gave me with this flash. It used to come with this flash to activate DaVinci. So I was sort of like restricted because it is the only one that was able to handle B-RAW, like Blackmagic RAW better at that point. And I used DaVinci for quite some time. But as my workflow and as I begin to learn so many things, I just discovered it's just really like a lot of work for nothing. It consumes so much hardware. You need to have like a really good computer for you to use it effectively and stuff. But with Adobe Premiere Pro, I think it's really light, professional. I do all my edits and color grading in Adobe Premiere Pro. So if you want to see some of my color grading, just go on my YouTube and just look for color grading tutorials where a lot of people, they have learned color grading, especially in Africa. And I'm super proud of myself that I've been able to touch so many people in color grading that way. You see so many people actually post to say, I learned color grading through this tutorial. I learned color grading. It's really comprehensive. And if you want to learn more about color grading, I have a full course on my website, Color Grading Pro, where I go through every little thing. It doesn't matter whether you are going to use DaVinci. I'm teaching the whole theory of color, what makes color and stuff like that, how to balance color, opposite colors and stuff like that. It's really comprehensive course. You are missing out. Okay, let's look. I have a 200. This is Fire Family Production Media Films. I have a 20,000 camera. I have a 20,000 camera. How to connect monitor and audio. All right, I don't know in which perspective, what kind of camera do you, oh, it's a 2000D. Okay, this monitor is not showing zeros properly. It's a 2000D. I think the time that the Canon 2000D came out, I had already really moved to, you know, hybrid cameras and stuff. So I never really had hands-on on the camera to see how it works, how is the menu structure and stuff like that. So I think for the best is to just look up for the manual, what you call this, the manual of the camera. Just try to Google if 2000D has got a clean HDMI output, does it have an HDMI and stuff. I'm sure there's a lot of filmmakers on this page who are watching now who are using Canon 2000D. Maybe you can help my brother here. Does it have a microphone jack? Does it have an HDMI output? Is that HDMI output a clean HDMI output? And stuff like that. Those are some of the stuff that I teach in my course, that before you purchase a camera, there's always, like in my course, the first I think the first 30 minutes of the course itself, it just goes into before purchasing the camera, where I teach each and every aspect of the camera, the sensor type, the resolution and stuff like that. So if you go through such information, you actually know what kind of a camera, because the idea behind was, most people, they ask me which camera should I buy. It's not really about go and buy this camera because it's good. It's about the camera fitting into your workflow. The camera fitting into your workflow, because maybe for me, I might buy a red cinema camera because maybe I try to shoot feature films. And if I say, oh, the red camera is a really good camera, you can buy it too. Maybe you just want a lightweight camera for events and stuff. It's not gonna be good. So it's always really good that you, as the person behind the camera, you understand the camera even before you got it. You understand it A to Z. Even before you purchased it, you have an idea of the sensor that it is using, the highest ISO, what is its noise ratios, what is its recording formats, what is its recording picture styles, is it an 8-bit, is it a 10-bit, you know, what do you really need and stuff like that. So you are mostly the only person who can know which camera you need. But I can just really guide you in terms of things to look out for when you are purchasing a camera, because certain things that affect other filmmakers, like people would always say, yo, I want a full frame camera, you know, because it has got shallow depth of field, it has got, you know, good low light performance and stuff like that. That is not anything that I look for in a camera myself. You know, I've never really even used, I have a full frame, I have FX3, I have even FX6 at some point, I even sold it. You know, for me, I'm not really trying to look at the sensor. The things that I look for in a camera are completely different from what you could be looking for yourself. You know, because for me, if you are saying the camera, it needs to have a bigger sensor so that I can create shallow depth of field. There's a trick when it comes to things like shallow depth of field. It depends the distance of the subject from the background. It also depends what type of lenses. Are you using a fast lens? Are you using I have lenses in my studio. They are just there. What you call these lenses? They are called Night Walker. Let me just pick them and show them to you. So, because I have a weakness of loving smaller sensor cameras, you will have to buy like very fast lenses with lower apertures. So I have these lenses. This is Sirui Nightwalker T1.2. This is just how fast they are. So if I put this lens even on a micro four third camera, I still have like really, really shallow depth of field. And by the way, these lenses, I don't know what I'm gonna do with them because they were stolen the camera that I was using these lenses for, it was stolen. It is for my Lumix S1H. I have 24 millimeter. These are beautiful lenses, guys, really beautiful, even the build quality. I have a 35 millimeter. I have a 55 millimeter. All of them are T1.2. That is just how fast they are. So when it comes to things like shallow depth of field and stuff like that, it's not really my worry, because me, I invest in lenses. Lenses are the things that I invest in, not even a camera. That's why I always tell people, to me, a camera doesn't matter. Camera technology changes time and again and stuff, but lenses, they are there. Let's go. Let's see how many, which gimbal is the best for beginners. This is Charlie Ishmael Manyamba. Which gimbal is the best for beginners at low budget? Nowadays, guys, gimbals are so cheap. Gimbals are so cheap. So when you are trying to look for a gimbal, there's also a few things that you need to consider. How heavy is your camera? And what are the limitations of that gimbal? You know, when you take the Ronin S and the Zhiyun Crane 2, they're the same gimbals. They are 3-axis gimbal, but the form factor, you know, the usability, the ergonomics are completely different. You know, some it will really feel better to hold. Maybe you do a lot of low angle shots. Maybe you can go with the Zhiyun Crane 2, but maybe you want something that is solid and robust and very steady. Maybe you're gonna need a Ronin S. But one cool trick: I never buy any camera-related gear. The only things that I buy new in boxes are things like lenses, camera monitors. What else? The rest, I don't really buy them new. Even most of my cameras, I don't buy them new. Mostly, I buy second-hand stuff. So the cheapest low-budget gimbal that you can get now, number one is, how heavy is your camera first? Have you watched some tutorials on YouTube to figure out whether that sort of a camera can balance properly on your gimbal? Do that proper research. But gimbals now are very cheap, very cheap. You can get a Ronin S for $200, even $150. You can get a Ronin SC. It depends how heavy your camera is. For me, I use the Zhiyun Crane 3S because it's the only lightweight gimbal that can carry the whole Red Cinema camera. In fact, the tutorial that I'm gonna drop tomorrow, it's about that gimbal, how to balance a bigger camera on top of it, because people actually make mistakes. Just because that gimbal can carry 6.5 kg, they want to put a whole 6.5 kg. I tried it, it doesn't work. The gimbal can balance it, but that doesn't mean that it can work. So there are certain things that you need to trade off when you are trying to put a heavy camera on that gimbal. So I created a tutorial for that. It's gonna drop tomorrow. And then the other day, we're gonna drop about video editing, computer and stuff. It's amazing, guys. Just subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't. This is Evans Films. He's asking again, how do you edit promo videos? I'm still a beginner. It's very easy. Promo videos, it depends what type of a promo are you making. Is it a promo video about an event that has happened before? They have some clips already. So the main idea of a promo is just to really sell highlights of a particular event, right? So you just get key highlights of that event, group them together, and use a really cool, motivational or inspiring music. Music is half of the viewing experience, so your background music is on par. But I hopefully gonna create a tutorial about how to create promo videos, because I don't know how I can describe it now. Even though I have a computer here with me, today it was just question and answer. So every video that you are watching now on my Facebook, it is a question from one of my students. So all the videos that I make, it's actually really like detailed answers to some specific questions. So if you want to know how to create a promo video, I think I'm gonna create a tutorial to just show you the workflow that I use, and but just really highlights of the promotion is what you need to be thinking in your mind when you are creating. Orella Dukes. Within videography space, which path is good? Music videos, wedding videos, real estate, commercial videos, corporate videos, events. This is a good question, Mr. Aurelio. This is a very good question. So, I don't know where to start this question, but I know that every videographer who wants to start, they almost want to do everything. They want to shoot wedding videos, they want to shoot music videos, they want to shoot films, they want to shoot it. When you are starting, it's good like that. Then as you are doing it, you actually really try to find what you love doing the most, you know, because if you do so many things, it's just a matter of time. If you start getting booked, this one is booking you for a wedding, this one is a music video, this one is a corporate video, there isn't really like which one is a good space. There is only thing like which one do you want to major in, which one do you really enjoy doing. Because the moment you stop enjoying it, the moment you just really do it for money, it's going to be really hectic, it's going to be heavy on you, you know. You're gonna burn out. So it's better, some of us, I'm able to come here live and talk about videography because I love videography. I can do this all night, I'll not get tired. So there isn't really like, this is where you should measure, this is a safe space. It depends in which location are you. And these are some of the stuff that I taught in my course, Videography Business. So if you are in a place where there's a lot of real estates going on there, getting into real estate videography will be really beneficial because you will have clients time and again because you are into a place where they are doing so much real estate. If you are in a place where there's a lot of musicians and studios and stuff, getting in that genre will ensure your success in that area and stuff like that. So there isn't, everything is actually really equal. I do music videos here and there. I do corporate videos here and there and stuff like that. Just because maybe I'm making it so big in music videos, it doesn't mean that it is a safer spot. Maybe I'm just connected to a lot of musicians. Maybe I'm just connected. Maybe I've been long in the industry and people already know me. That's why they come to me and stuff like that. So there isn't really like, even though I have so many bookings about music videos, there's someone now in the United States, there's someone now in Ghana, maybe there's someone now in Dubai who is making even more money in a corporate, who is making more money in real estate. It really just depends on your location. And this topic is really broad in my course where I taught about how to get clients and how to market yourself. You know, how do you approach clients? Where are your clients? How do you know that I'm gonna make it here or not? How much do you charge? The place you are can even determine how much you should charge. You know, you can be charging maybe $100 for a music video. If you go with that $100 to a certain village, they'll say that that $100 is too much just for a music video. They want maybe $20. So maybe the location that you are, people might not appreciate your work. Then you move to a city where people are doing. That's why I started my videography in Mongu in Zambia. It's a western province. It's not really like a rich people. There's people, actually now things have changed. But the time that I started, there wasn't people who were doing these things. So I didn't have clients. Every money that I was charging, it was too much for them. Even if I charge $10, it will still be so much for some of those people. So I moved to a city in Lusaka. There it was better. But as I graduate in my skill, I see that what I'm able to do, I think people in Lusaka might not really be ready to pay. Then I moved to South Africa, you know. Then I was around South Africa for some time. Then I'm like, no ways. I should just put myself in the globe. So now I am an international videographer, you know. I'm coming to Nigeria in March. I'll be going to Zambia. I'm filming internationally. So the location where you stay really plays a crucial importance. Which online store do you recommend for buying used gear? That is Sandiso, Director Sandiso from Rustenburg is killing it. We've been working together for some time. He's killing it. I'm super proud of him. So the best website where you can buy used gear For me, when I buy used gear, I buy from friends in America and stuff. I don't really use much websites. They have a website as well. It's a community of some of people like us who teach videography and stuff. So we talk within our community, like maybe I need to help my students. I have 10, may I have 10 cameras? Sometimes I will get even cameras on credit, sell them, then give them back their money and stuff. So that is where I buy. I buy most of my used gear from a community of other filmmakers that are in the United States. We met and we talk. So with regards to the best website, when I started, I actually bought a lot of stuff on eBay. I don't know how it works now, but I bought a lot of stuff from eBay. They really have got good deals. And there's one website, it's called Adorama, but it's in the United States. So they don't ship outside to South Africa, but they ship to other countries in Africa. You'll find very cheap cameras there. That's why I bought my Canon C300s. So I just used my friend who is in the United States to ship at his place. Then he sent them to me. Yeah, so Adorama is the best where you can really get good used gear at cheaper prices. All right, YouTube, what is the name of the mic you are using? I'm using a Rode Wireless Go 2. It's really good, but if you go through my video that I did, studio tour, I have a couple of other microphones. This microphone, I bought it, I believe, 6,000 rands. That's about $300, $270. Then there's one that I bought for $150, the Saramonic B500-01. Then there's other microphones. Just watch my video studio tour. You'll get a lot of microphones there. They all work. It depends on your budget. Mr. Dominic says, sir, I'm requesting you to show us how to perfect and use Steadicam. On the Steadicam, that's when you know who is a filmmaker and who is a videographer. Steadicam are not a child's play. So I was very fortunate myself to actually reach to a point where I can use a Steadicam. Not just really like a traditional Steadicam. Now I use a Steadicam that is combined with a gimbal. There's a lot of moving parts. How do you take smooth shots and stuff like that? So I did a studio tour showing you what I use for my live streaming, to record my YouTube channel, to record my online courses. But I didn't show you these whole other things like the gear that I normally use, because I'm still waiting for my other Red Cinema camera, which is coming. I bought a Red Helium 8K. That's what I'll be using to do projects for people. So I want, when it comes, I do a sort of like a studio, a sort of like the gear that I use on a project. So that will include the vest and arm stabilizer that I use, the Steadicam that I use. I'm going to be using the Thanos, the digital photo Thanos Pro X Cine, not like the first Thanos, that one for $1,300. Not that one, but there's another one for $4,500. That's the one that I'll be using. So I'm gonna do a sort of like a tour around that same rig to just show you. But I have already done another video that will drop tomorrow about the Crane 3S that I always hook on my Steadicam and stuff like that. So Steadicams are really good, I love them a lot. In fact, I have a lot of glide cam. If you know a glide cam, I learned how to use a Steadicam because I was a glide cam guy. When I started, I didn't have enough money to buy like an electronic gimbal. So glide cams were cheaper, so I bought a glide cam. And I tried my best to get the smoothest footage with that. So the moment I started using a Steadicam, it was easier because it's almost the same principle, you know. With electrical stabilizers like Ronin S, Ronin SC, Crane 3S, they use motors to balance your camera. But with a mechanical stabilizer like a glide cam or a Steadicam, it uses weight. So from that transition of using a glide cam a lot, I really got used to getting smooth footage with a non-electrical stabilizer. So I'm gonna do a sort of like a tour to just like walk you around and show you exactly what I do with a glide cam. With a steady cam. Okay, Mr. Felicity says, what is the best advice? What is the biggest advice that you can give to a beginner in videography like me? No camera yet, but following lessons and courses. I already have a basis in editing. The biggest advice that I can give to a beginner, just because videography, it is something that you can do by yourself. You know, you can just pick up a camera and just really do whatever. It's not like a teacher. You cannot just get into a class and start teaching without really having a sort of like a foundation, learning how to teach people. It's not like all those professionals. You cannot just get into an accountant office and then you start doing accounts there and stuff like that. You need to have sort of education and stuff. So that is where videography is different. With videography, you can just get a camera now and pose yourself as a videographer tomorrow. And that is what a lot of beginners do. That's the big mistake. Just because videography, you have that freedom, it doesn't mean that is what you should do. Because there's so much still that you need to learn. That's why even people who are buying my course, oh, I want to buy your course, but first I need to buy a camera. So what kind of camera do I need? But in the course, that is what I'm teaching. I'm teaching about cameras, what you need to know about cameras, controls, good settings, good stuff, you know, different types of cameras, showing you different types of picture styles and stuff like that. That is where you are supposed to do. So for me, all people who always say, Pedro, I want to come on set so that I can learn, the first thing, go and buy the course. Because you will know everything that we are doing. So when you are doing practicals, you have an idea of what you are doing. When you are adjusting your ISO, you know exactly why. Some people actually, professionals who have been shooting 5 years, they're still guessing settings. Like, is ISO 400 going to look nice? Let me try 500. You don't have time for that. When you're on set, you know your story. You know, just looking at the scene, I think here with the lens that I'm using, with the lighting that is available, I think 400 ISO will work. You already know. You don't even have to start fidgeting with your camera and stuff. So make sure as a beginner, get the basic. I love that you are actually well informed in editing and stuff like that. Get the basic knowledge. If you want to be an editor, in my class for video editing, I start by computer. What kind of computer you need, what kind of programs you need to install, what kind of plugins and stuff like that. Those are so important than you just trying to buy a computer first. With which settings are you buying that computer? With which specs? You don't know the specs, but you want to buy. Guys, it's funny, but I was there before. I was there. I did the same mistakes. That's why I always advise filmmakers these days to say, learn, get the basics first. You don't have to learn everything. The sweetest part about videography, especially these days, it's not like before where those old filmmakers, the way they struggle with me, the way they fight with me when I say you can learn videography in 3 weeks. You can actually pick up a camera from knowing nothing. In 3 weeks, you can pick up a camera and actually shoot a very good video. They'll be like, no way, it takes a lot of time to learn videography. Relax, things have changed, technology has catch up. There's easier way to do things now, and those are the stuff that I teach in my course. If you get my course, a premium access, you just maybe spend 1 month going through the classes. And of course, I always answer on WhatsApp when you have a problem as you are learning. In 1 month time, I can guarantee you, you'll be able to go and shoot a very nice interview with good lighting, with good sound, with good editing. You'll be able to know those things. It's very easy these days. All right, so we have Mr. Feyer Vimba says, payment method for your courses from Gambia. How can I get some of your LUTs? It is crazy. Even though I talk about LUTs and stuff like that, do you know that 90% of my videos, I don't use LUTs? And I did a video on YouTube where I was teaching about how to color grade from beginning without using any sort of a plugin. So I have a couple of LUTs. So anytime I do a color grading and I like it, I'll convert it into a LUT. Then maybe next time when I shoot a similar video to that, I'll just use that LUT to, you know. So you can get all my LUTs on my website. If you go on my website, the links are in the descriptions. If you go on my my about page on YouTube, you'll find the website there. You'll find over 3,000 LUTs there, cinematic professional LUTs. And then you can go on any platform that you are watching me on now. In the bio, you will have a link to my website where you can get all this stuff. And then someone is asking payment method for your courses. I'm from Gambia. The payment method that is there now is PayPal. You know, PayPal is the only payment gateway that I could use in Africa, because apparently there's so much that doesn't work in Africa. You know, I could have used a lot of other payment gateway, but they work in Europe and the United States. So PayPal is the only one that works. But if you don't have a PayPal account, you are in the neighboring country. We know we have services like Western Union, Mukuru. We have all those kind of stuff. Any way that you can send money to me for the course, which works from your country to my country, it will still work. Which website is cheaper or free for buying plugins for Adobe Premiere Pro? You can actually just use a free website. It's called I Get It Into PC. There's a lot of plugins there. If you just go and type any plugin, Red Giant plugins are there, Instant 4K, whatever, all those stuff they are there, you know. And there's only 5 plugins that I use, right? For some of you wants to use what I use, there's only 5 plugins that I use. A Red Giant suite, which has got Colorista. I use Colorista a lot. And then if you get a Red Giant suite, what else do I use in that suite? Nothing much, but it has got other things like looks, which are color presets like filters in Instagram. So some of you who are not really like good color graders, you can use some of those filters. They can actually pose you to be like professional videos look nice. There's a lot of them. And then there is Mojo, it's a color grading. There's Film, where you can actually sort of like change your DSLR looking video into some sort of like film looking. But for that plugin, there's another plugin that I use called Film Convert Nitro. It's really good for converting your DSLR. Mostly, I won a lot of awards using my GH5, a lot. Best videographer of the year, best videos of the year, surpassing even videos that were shot on Red Cinema cameras, you know? Because after I shot with my DSLR camera, I'll use a plugin, Film Convert, to sort of like convert that DSLR looking to have this nice video texture. So that is number 2 plugin that I use. And then I use Neat Video. So since I use the GH5, you know, it's very notorious when it comes to noise, very notorious. So if at some point my lighting wasn't really that power and I increased the ISO and there's some noise in my video, Neat Video is the best. And that is number 3 plugin that I use. And then which one do I use again? Anyway, yeah, I think mostly there's 2 more plugins. I don't use them often these days, but if you get into my course, video editing and color grading, you'll see all the plugins that I use. Even the video that I'm gonna drop on YouTube, I think tomorrow is Wednesday, Thursday morning, is gonna have all the plugins that I use. All right, Kalana is asking, do you still have the Atem Mini Pro? Sadly, I still have one, but I don't use Atem Mini Pro anymore. If you watched my video, you see the system that I'm using. Now I'm using Atom Xcast combined with Atomos Ninja V. That's what I'm using to broadcast this. You know, the good part with this is it's actually really, really, really nice. I can show you some cool stuff now. You see when they say, when everything is running, don't start disturbing them. Now I just even closed the what. But now I use Atomos Ninja V. combined with Atom Xcast. It's the one that I'm using, but I think I still have, I think it's still sealed in the box actually. I'll check for you. The Atom Mini Pro is still there, I think. What are some of the setbacks you have discovered about using a log profile when filming a music video? I've never really had setbacks when it came to log profiles. The only setback that I had, especially when I was starting, is just because the video was flat, I'm using a flat picture style, I thought, oh no, I'm gonna do a color grading, but not knowing I was using a camera that can only shoot, oh my God, what is happening? I was using a camera that can only shoot in 8-bit. So if you are shooting on an 8-bit camera and you are using a log profile, you struggle when it comes to recovering all the all the color information from your image, because 8-bit doesn't really have enough color information. So if you're using an 8-bit camera, just stick to standard, natural, and other picture style. That gives you instant colors already in your videos, so that when you do color grading, you don't have to bring back each and every color back. So that was like the setback of using log. But once I learned that, oh no, it's the bit depth of my camera that has been affecting me, because I could color grade, but the colors are not coming really the way I want. You find that this blue will start looking purplish. Sometimes it will start looking greenish because I want to focus on the skin tone. Things were not falling in place, especially if you are shooting outside the sky. You'd see what you call this gradation of the sky. It's not that smooth and stuff like that. That was just the setback at that point. But once I learned that I need to use a camera with a higher bit depth, like a 10-bit, that's why the GH5, I think that camera, until today, that camera was ahead of its time. Ahead. It's only that it's videographers who uses that camera. You know, a filmmaker with that camera, it's everything that they'll need. It shoots 10-bit, 4K DCI, not this Ultra HD 4K 3840 by 2160. Shoot 4096 pixels by 2160, which is like a true 4K. You know, it shoots 24 frames per second, and it shoots anamorphic. Man, I have 2 anamorphic lenses, and when you are using anamorphic on the GH5, you know, now you can even shoot in 6K. That camera, few makers are sleeping on it. But if it is in the hand of a videographer, they'll start complaining, oh, autofocus is not nice. It has got a low sensor light and stuff like that, which for a filmmaker, those things are not a problem. For me, you see these Sure lenses, even if I was using them on Sony FX3, they are not autofocus lenses. So if you are a filmmaker and you are complaining about a camera having autofocus, you are not really a filmmaker. So things like, oh no, lighting, a filmmaker, they are very strategic. I'm very strategic. I know the camera that I have has got a small sensor, so I need light. If I'm going for a shoot, I make sure that I have light. You have sorted that. What do you want to shoot in the dark? Even if you go like with a nice camera like Sony FX3, that camera is a low light beast. But it's rare that I use that camera, because for me, I need to shape light in a way. Just because it can take really clear stuff and stuff like that, I still need to sort of somehow need to shape light. So either way, I'm still gonna need light. You get my point? Bro, I can find, I can't find the website for the link to the LUT to, the LUTs, you can only get them from my website, you know? You can only get them from my website, but just search on Google. And filmmakers, let's learn to use technology that is coming. You know, there are certain things that filmmakers ask me and I wonder, where is this person living? Because this could be just a simple Google search. They could have found these things. You know, I know the importance of learning from someone who is actually a normal person with a skin that talks to you and stuff. It's different from when you Google something and you just see result and then you begin to ask yourself, man, are these people telling the truth? You know, but we need to embrace things like YouTube. You need to embrace things like Google, you know, certain things like one of my students asked me to say, hey, I just bought a gimbal, but I don't know how to balance it. I'm asking, what kind of gimbal did you buy? Say, no, it's a Ronin SC. There's a lot of tutorials online how to balance gimbals. There's a lot. You know, I did also a tutorial on how to balance gimbals. There's some cool tricks though that only when you have been using them for a long time, then you begin to see, okay, this is the easier way to balance this. This is the easier way to balance this. That is the video that I'm gonna drop on my YouTube tomorrow. I can see Mr. Nana Kwame is watching all the way from Ghana. Oh, nice. I was in Accra. You know, I was sleeping at a place called Labadi Beach Hotel. I was to Ghana plenty times, Nigeria many times. I am an African filmmaker. Hi, I did send you WhatsApp. Hope you will reply me when you got free time. Yeah, I'm going to reply. I'm going to reply after this live. I'm gonna look at the messages, because usually when I'm live like this, people usually send messages. So after live, 1 hour, I go through the messages, and priorities filmmakers. Any person will say hi, hello, those things I don't answer them. You text me with something that you want to find out. Hi, my name is Pedro. I wanted to find out about ABCD. But if you say hi, I have a lot of those messages, almost over 3,000 messages. Just hi, you know. I have a question I posted up. Okay, what are some setbacks? I answered this one. Okay, let's go to Destiny Chinedu, watching from Nigeria. You inspire me a lot, bro. I am 19. How is Nigeria? When I was in Nigeria, I was at Wari State, in Delta State, in Wari. Then I went there back again in Lagos. Then I went to Abuja. It's nice. Nigeria, very nice people. I think my character fits nicely with Nigerians, you know. I love Nigerians. I love them. The time that I was there, very supportive people. Very, very, very supportive. You know, when I landed there, it was hot. And say, this guy is going to burn here. He doesn't know Nigeria. Then they took me to another place that had got really good aircon and stuff. It was good. You know, I like it. My brother, can you bring me water? If you don't know them, you might think that, hey, why can't you just speak properly? But that is being an African. You know, I grew up in a place where we are like a little bit violent and stuff like that. But people look at it as if this person is being violent. But that's just how people get by. There's no harm, you know. We roast each other so bad that people will cry, but at some point we'll laugh and stuff. I love Nigeria a lot. Blessings. I bless Nigeria. Could you please talk about the business part from what you have learned so far? What are the do's and don'ts for a beginner, immediate, and established videographer? So I have a course, Videography Business Pro, where I teach everything that has to do with business-wise when it comes to videography, anything related to videography, in terms of how you start without equipment, how you get clients, how you market yourself to make sure you are known. So the do's and the don'ts, I'll just scramble because I have a lot of questions to answer, but if you want everything, I have a course dedicated for that. The biggest mistake that I see, especially beginners, is to rush to get projects, you know, without actually really having the skills necessary. And a lot of beginners stopped videography because of that. You know, they tried to get clients just when they were beginning. They already want to work with famous people just when they are beginning without really having a certain skill set for that. So once they are given the opportunity, people don't appreciate their work because their skill is still below average. They get discouraged. So as a beginner, if you want to land paying clients, there's like 8 things that I spoke in that course. If you really want to land paying clients, first, learn the skill. Make sure you know it. You know, for me, there's a Netflix movie that I'm going to be shooting maybe in 2 months' time when I come back from Nigeria. I'm coming to Nigeria in March. When I come back from Nigeria, I'll be working on a Netflix movie. You see, when they send me all the stuff that is needed, I already know them. Okay, they want this movie to be shot with a raw camera so that they can edit the pictures later. Okay, I understand the reason why. They want me to shoot at 6K, the footage, but editing will be in 4K. I already know the reason why, you know. So make sure you actually learn, even if it's the basics, you know. It's like driving a car. You can actually learn how to drive a car in a month. You know how to change gears, but someone who is experienced, who has been driving for 20 years, there are certain things that they can teach you, but you can also, both of you can still drive, but you can still learn from an experience. So as a beginner, first focus on your skill. Make sure that your skills are competitive, and I have spoken a lot about how you can go about that in the course itself. You know, if you're starting out, no equipment, no camera, no nothing, guys, some of you here are teachers. Some of you here, you have sisters who went to nursing. How did they learn nursing? Did they have patients before? Did they have stethoscopes before? Did they have what you call these things, microscopes before? All their researchers, they were doing that by asking money from relatives. Oh, there's a cool microphone that I need to get. You raise money slowly like that. It's not like it's going to be free like that. It's not going to be. If you really want to make money in it, you need to invest something in it, either your time and a little bit of money. If you can afford to buy a cool phone, S23 Ultra, you have it. What is stopping you from getting a camera? What is stopping you from having a small? What is stopping you from buying a course of $100 that can teach you everything? That is the biggest mistake that beginners make. The knowledge. They skip these things too quickly and rush to get into the field. And when they get in the field, things doesn't really run properly. And now they are confused. Maybe I'm not just skilled. Maybe, no, you just have to know a few things, right? So before you even get to a point where you approach clients, make sure your skill set is comparable to the industry standard. If you watch your video like this and you don't like it, it's probably even the client won't like it. If you shoot a video, then you take San Pedro's video, you put them side by side. You look at, okay, my video is not really at this level, but I think there are other people's videos that look like mine. That's when you know that at least I'm getting there, you know? You need to do that, and during that period, don't really focus on getting clients. Focus on really getting your skills there. After you get in the skills, rushing to buy the camera is not even really like the best. After you get the skills, offer your services to other videographers. Create a portfolio. Rent a camera, you know. Rent a camera. To rent a camera like a GH5 is 500 Rand. If you are already a serious videographer, we are talking about $40 or $20 to rent a camera for your day. If you are really a serious videographer and you want to make money, don't feel like it's a loss of money for you to go and rent a camera, then do some tutorials with it, do some practices with it, and then return it and stuff, you know. After you get the skills, work on your portfolio. Don't rush to buy even gear. Work on your portfolio. If you have the money to buy gear, right, you can buy. But if you still have, don't think gear will hold you back, because even though you know, you don't have anything to show, you know. So you work it like that. You borrow cameras. Nowadays, cameras are so many. You borrow a camera, you pay whatever that they need to pay, whether it's $20, $10, you pay. You create something that you are able to present to a client. Once you have a portfolio, at least some works, you know. There are a lot of filmmakers that goes with me on set. They create behind the scenes for me, and when the video comes out, I give them that footage. They can use it in their promo, and I always make sure that if I go with somebody on set, they are also in the behind the scenes. You know, sometimes I'll give them one of my camera, let's pose together, let's take a picture. They are creating a portfolio. They might know how to do the work, but they don't have equipment. So when they have something to show, it gives them it lands them in a proper spot. So once you have the skill, for me, I don't even need a camera. I don't even need to worry about a camera at this point. That's why even when I was robbed, I was not worried, because if I have a project, I'll just go to the rental gear, rent a camera, I'll still have profits. There are many directors who shoots without their own personal camera. If you see these guys, oh, this dope director, oh, he uses, those are not their cameras, they are just hiring. They only have the skill to use. So once you have the skills, cameras will not be a worry. For me, I can only be worried about cameras because I have programs like this where I teach. So I'll need a camera, of course. I have, there's a lot of advantages of having your own gear, but not having gear as a professional filmmaker, it should not hold you back because people believe in your creativity, in your skills, not in the cameras. So even after I got robbed, you know what I did? There was a project that I'm supposed to do in Nigeria. I'm going to be shooting for 5 music videos there. There's some artists that are doing collaboration with some artists in Nigeria. So I'm gonna go there to film. And it's a program that has been made. So after my equipment were robbed, I went to the client and say, can you give me part of that money so that I can buy a camera? Because I'm not gonna go there without a camera. So he gave me part of the money, part of the deposit. Even if I didn't have a camera, it still doesn't really mean I cannot do anything. There are times when I go to a country where they don't even allow cameras to get inside that camera. I just go with my naked body there. I just go there and hire cameras from guys in there and shoot, leave them there, So those are some of the biggest mistakes that beginners make. They focus on wrong things. They focus on right things at a wrong time. Let's meet up in Nigeria. It will be nice to meet you. See you in March. This is Mr. Destin Chinedu. Thank you. I'm watching from Kenya. How is Nairobi? Yo, I've been to so many places. Thank you so much. Which part of Kenya are you watching me from? Maybe I was there. Watching from Ghana. Good job, bro. AJ from Kenya. Doing good job educating, bro. Thank you. Where's people from South Africa? Where's people from Zambia? Where's people from Botswana? I think I need to relocate to West Africa. I need to relocate to West Africa. Okay, guys, I think we, skills first. I think, could you please talk about the business part? Okay, this one I answered. Interesting, this is MBH. I'm listening. Mag says, I'm inspired. Mr. Amkelani says, my leader. Thank you so much. Good question. Director, what are some of the setbacks? Thank you. Thank you.